Hey everyone, my name is Joshua Mayfield. I completed my third rotation of my co-op this summer at Altec Industries. So about me, I'm a rising senior in industrial engineering at NC State. I'm from High Point, North Carolina, and I plan to work in manufacturing in the future after I graduate. So about Altec, they're located in Creedmoor, which is about 45 minutes north of Raleigh. They manufacture aerial devices on utility trucks, and these utility trucks can be used for a number of different markets, including the electrical utility, telecommunications, tree care, construction, and the lights and signs market. So, primary responsibility I had this summer was completing something called part routings. So every time a new part is made, I would take it, assign it the processes it needed to be created, and then calculated the estimated times for it. And that would help calculate the cost for each part and then allow it to be located when it's on the floor. One of the things I worked on this summer was taking associates toolboxes and organizing them to make sure they were able to be used efficiently and they weren't disorganized. So this included labeling things, throwing out tools that they didn't need, getting tools that they did need. So just making sure everything was efficient in that regard. And then another issue I worked on this summer was so when these lifts are resting outside on the concrete, they in the past did not rest on anything, and it would be susceptible to paint damage and other quality issues. So I worked to create a solution for these rubber mats to be added to the bottom of the lifts, so that way they would have something to rest on and not be exposed to the concrete when they were resting outside. Another thing I worked on this summer was covering these pallets of steel that were stored outdoors. So, being outdoors, they can be exposed to the elements, weather, things like that, and reduce the quality of them. So, I worked to create or cover all of them with tarps and then label them and make sure everything was organized. And then I had some things, came up with some ideas that ended up saving the company money. So one of them was when custom parts are made for the engineers on the laser, they kind of just end up in a disorganized area and people kind of forget about them. So I made a notification system so that when your parts are cut, you'll get a notification system and they won't be left in the area. And then I also noticed that the associates that were unloading the parts from the laser, they only had one metal dumpster to put the scrap metal in. So some of them would have to walk around the table. So I added another dumpster to reduce transfer or walking. And then I also designed a rack to store a lot of parts that were historically being taking up a lot of space. So I consolidated a lot of them into one rack. And then I also helped create a work instruction that gave the associates proper procedures for when the plant shuts down on the weekends and on holidays. So that would save energy as well. And then there was a run of a certain type of truck that we did that came through. And so what I did here was basically every step that the associate did, I wrote it down, took pictures of it, and put it all into a work instruction. So that way, future associates, when they go to build a truck, they have good instructions for how to make it. And that way, that process is standard and clear to everyone. And then I also performed a lot of time studies on the painting process. We're in the middle of a paint expansion building, and so these times were used to help determine the new expansion layout for the paint line, which was pretty cool. So some takeaways and things I learned from this summer. The importance of working with others to design solutions to problems. So if let's say I'm building a rack, I have to go work with the associates that are going to use that rack. I have to work with engineers to make sure this rack is engineered and designed correctly. And just taking everything into consideration when building this, so that everyone can be happy and it will be the optimal solution. And then just being in a plant and in a manufacturing plant and seeing all the different processes and ways waste is reduced and time and things are improved, um, just gave me a better understanding of like efficient manufacturing and reducing waste in the manufacturing processes. And then I used a good bit of SolidWorks skills and made improvements there to design racks and different things. And then also using hands-on tools I got better at as well. For those drills, I learned how to weld. Um, I was on the floor a good bit building things, so I really enjoyed that. It also working here also confirmed my interest um, in working in a future career in manufacturing. I would love to go back to Altec and or a place that manufactures really anything but steel or bigger vehicles like this. And then my favorite accomplishment over the summer was saving Altec over $17,000 from the 3 cost reduction ideas that I said earlier. All right, thank you, everyone.